Hello everyone. Today we are going to cover the concepts what I'm showing right now over here. So first we'll discuss about Ansible variables. If time permits, we are going to discuss about Ansible Vault. Okay. In Ansible Vault, we are going to see Ansible Vault introduction and using Ansible with Git. This is what we are going to do. And additional concepts, converting a shell script into a playbook. Okay, this I'm going to show you how we can do that one. And gather facts, we already discussed about it, how the gather facts does use with when condition in our last class. Error handling yet to discuss, and tags. So these are the concepts we left out. So first let's discuss about Ansible variables. So I hope everybody knows about what is mean by variables. We can have a variable name and variable have value. Instead of using value directly in our program or in our application, we can use variable. So you can change your value of that variable whenever it is necessary. Let's take an example that in your program you are installing version 1 at this moment. Maybe after few days it it is going to change it as a version 2. So rather than updating your program directly, version 1 to version 2, you can use a variable called version in your program and you can assign a value to the version while executing your program. Okay, let's take that I'm executing my uh, program as a version 1 at this moment by passing variables from external source. I mean to say while running your program, version is equal to 1. Now I need not to alter my application. I mean to say I need not to alter or change my application according to the what version I am executing. Later point of time, again I want to change the version to version 2. Then again I can run it as a version 2 value while running my application. So these are the advantages of using variables, and it is quite common in any programming language. So it give the more flexibility and yeah, more flexibility and efficient way of utilizing your application if you are using your variables. So same thing is going to happen over here. So we'll take some examples once we understand how the variables works, and then we can use it. But before discussing about examples, let's see how many ways we can define variables in our Ansible playbook. There is hell lot of there is lot of ways we can define our variables in our Ansible playbook. I am just showing few ways which we can use in the real world in most of the cases. So define within the playbook, this is one way we are going to do in our real world. So we define Ansible variables within the playbook, but this is again not a good practice. Next, passing from external files. Yes, this is the one more efficiently used way. So we keep all variables in one external file and we pass variables to the uh, our Ansible playbook because we are writing Ansible playbooks over here. Next, passing from the host inventory. So we are creating inventory file, right? In inventory file also we can define the variables, but that is again not a recommended way. Next, passing while running Ansible playbook. So sorry, this is another way to pass variables. While running our Ansible playbook, we can pass variables. If you do remember in a previous class, we have passed host value. I mean to say inventory information, either group or node we have passed by using minus minus limit. Okay. Similar way, we can pass variables while running our Ansible playbook. Next, using group wars and host wars and so on. So this is one of the what I can say advanced level way, but I want to show you how we can use group wars and host wars. Okay, it is quite important concept, and in real world, whenever we use roles, this is the way we are going to use it. Alternatively, compensate the way of using the passing from external files. Okay, so these are the some of the important ways of passing variables. Apart from this, we have different various ways to pass variables. I will just show you. So if you search for Ansible variables, in the documentation they have given the how we can use variables, and also variables preferences. I could see some. Yeah, you can see here variable preferences. Where should I put a variable? Okay, you can see here around 22 ways you can use your variables. Command line values, nothing but while executing your Ansible playbook, you can give. This is one of the way. And role defaults, inventory file or scripted group wares, inventory group wares, playbook wares. So these are the different ways. Hosts facts, and play wares prompt. Like this, we have different ways to do that one. And the efficient way we are going to see anyway. So these are the different ways you can define your Ansible playbook. You can choose any one of these, any one among these to define your variables. But in our case, let's start with simple. I have already logged into my Ansible control node over here, and these all are my Ansible managed systems. This is RHL server, and this is Tomcat server, and this is Ubuntu server. Okay, these three are the managed nodes. Now we are going to our ANS admin home directory and clear the screen. Sorry, clear the screen. ls, we have a directory called playbook. Here we are going to write our Ansible playbooks. So let's create a file called vi user. Okay, let me take the create user file itself. Okay, so create user file is there, and if you see in this file, we are creating a user called Sonia while executing this Ansible playbook. It is quite simple Ansible playbook. Okay, but assume that when do we use creating a user playbook in the real world? Usually whenever a new guy joining in our team or in the respective team where these managed systems are managed by that particular user. Let's take an example that Sonia is joining in our company and she want to manage all these client systems. Whenever she want to manage, she has to log into these systems by using her user ID. So we are creating a user ID called Sonia. But after a few days, one more guy joined. Again, we need to create other user. So assume that this playbook is a simple task, a single task. So I mentioned directly a username. If you want to specify this username in 10 different locations, maybe we are creating a customized home directory and we are giving a or editing sudoers file or granting access to some other directories. All this stuff we want to do through this Ansible playbook. So changing in the different locations, updating this playbook with the same user in the different locations may not be the quite good way whenever you want to execute it. That is where we can use and roles. So sorry, variables. Now, just to demonstrate, I'm going to add one more task, that is name grant access to. I'm going to I'm going to create a directory. So to create a directory, name create a directory. So I'm creating a directory by using file module and name, sorry, path. Where do you want to create? I want to create under OPT and the directory name is dir1. Next, state, state, this is directory, right? So directory and owner, I want to give it to the Sonia and group Sonia. Okay, so or else I'm going to create a Sonia temp dir. Okay, Sonia temp dir I'm creating. Like this, for every user I need to create a temporary directory under OPT. Okay, so let's, and mode 0755. I'm just giving a mode and save this file. And Ansible, before executing, let me go and check whether Sonia user is exist or not. cat/etc. Of course, this user should exist. And if you go and check under OPT, she doesn't have any directory at this moment. Same thing over here, cat/etc. password, and Sonia user is there, but under OPT, she doesn't have any directory. Same thing is applicable over here. I think here user itself is not there. /etc password, because we have created it recently. So there is no user Sonia. Here it is going to create a user Sonia. Under OPT, it is going to create a directory as well. So this is that is what we want. Just I will just show you one more time. Create user.yml. So we are creating a user called Sonia. Now let's execute this Ansible playbook. -i hosts. Okay, then Ansible playbook name, create user.yml. Okay, and we are creating user, so we need the become true option. If you are not passing become true over here, you can give -b over here while executing your Ansible playbook. We have executed with -b option while executing our ADAC commands, right? Similar way, we can give -b option. But anyway, root privileges are there. Let's execute this playbook now. Ansible playbook -i hosts. Okay, so it is going to create in our local system as well. Why? Because we have used local host as well. Yeah, you can see here we have used local host also in our hosts file, right? So in our local system also, this is my local system, right? So if I see password Sonia user created, and now if I check, a directory got created under sorry OPT. You can see here Sonia temp directory, even here as well, even here as well. Sonia temp directory is there as well as here as well. Okay, in every locations it's created a Sonia user. Now let's take an example that I'm switching back to my previous directory. For that you can use cd minus, that is the option. You will switch back to your previous directory. I came back to my playbooks. Now assume that now one more user came and joined in my company. Now I would like to create his user. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4 locations I need to change. Even 5 locations I need to change the username. It is quite difficult, right? So now assume that Modi is going to join in my team. So rather than changing this one, I can give a simple way, that is here, instead of specifying name, I will just specify name as a, sorry, variable. The variable name is a user. I'm giving variable name as a user or username. I can give username. Don't give user minus name. Okay, this doesn't a valid variable name. You should not use minus in our variable name. So you just use username. So everywhere, instead of directly giving the name, I'm going to use the user underscore name. Okay, variable name can be anything. User underscore name, and here also user underscore name.
No
User
dollar or
underscore.
something is not required. Huh? Dollar or anything is not required.
No. I will tell you. Okay. So now we have replaced it with the user minus name, but now we need to specify the username, right? Where we need to specify, that is where you can go here, header. Under header, you can define your variables. Okay. So vars you can give, vars is there, one more header, and variable name is, you can specify it as a user underscore name is equal to Modi. Okay, something like this you can specify. All right, but if you do remember, whenever we are replacing the variable name with value, you cannot directly give the variable name, right? Usually in shell script we give dollar. In shell script we give dollar, but in Ansible we are going to give flower braces. In Ansible we are going to give flower braces. Okay, whenever you give flower braces, it treats it as a variable. Even if you do remember, while using the items, we have specified the same thing, because even items also going to use with items. Whenever we were using, we have used a variable called item. Even item also is going to do that one. And I told you, right, whenever you are specifying it as a variable, you need to specify under quotes, double quotes, right? But in this case it is optional. Okay, in this case it is optional. Why? Because if it is next to your semicolon, then it is mandatory. Why? Because it treats like this, it is there, then it is treats this too as a some different special character, and it could not recognize this as a variable. That's the reason, if you are using this one in front of this colon, then you must specify in the colons, sorry, double quotes, otherwise it is not necessary. In this case, of course, we need to specify this one in the double quotes, otherwise it creates a problem. So I'm creating in double quotes variable. Next, here as well, and here again it is optional, double quotes, but it is up to you whether you want to use it or not. I want to show you in the both the cases how does it work. Here it is mandatory, and this space is I'm just giving for my reference. Okay, it looks good, and moreover this space is not mandatory. After double quote, sorry, flower braces, the username we are giving, right? So it is not again mandatory. I'm just going to show you all the different ways. Here I haven't specified case spaces. Here I have specified spaces. Here I mention in double quotes. Here I didn't mention in double quotes. Okay, so we are trying everything, and you can see here user underscore name is equal to Modi. But let me check whether the definition is correct or not. Here you can see here, yeah, where's it's not equal to colon. It's not equal to colon. So it is not equal to, it is colon, right? So we have specified user colon. This one should come here. Mo, mo, sorry, Modi. Now this should create a user called Modi in the all the systems, as well as a directory under OPT. Let's check this one before executing. Hosts create user, right? Minus minus check. Okay, there is typo. So name creating user. Where should starts from here? Okay, because username is not a valid information, that's the reason. Not a valid header, that is the reason it is throwing error. Now let's try. Okay, it is creating, you can see here, just to check it out, it has been creating user mode. Now it has been updated. If you see previous one, it could be user creating user Sonia, because that was hard coded. Now we haven't hard coded it. Now let's execute this playbook. Okay, so we don't have any directory called Modi, and in few servers Modi user is exist. In few servers Modi user doesn't exist. You can see here in localhost it's created, as well as on Ubuntu system it's created, but not in the other systems. But creating directory, it created in the all the systems. Now if I check here minus ls minus l slash opt, now you can see here a directory called modi underscore temp has been created, and also earlier there was no modi user, so after Sonia modi user got created. Same thing over here. Okay, one more directory for modi here as well, one more directory called modi, one more directory for modi here as well, and here user also should create. Okay, so user also got created. This is how we can define variables in our Ansible playbook. Okay, so this is about the first condition, how we can define our variables within the file. But assume that now one more user is going to join in my company. So if I want to create his user, comparatively previous uh, what I can say way of executing your playbook, this one is good. Or sorry, this one is good. So assume that a new guy called Rahul is going to join in my uh, company, and he want to manage the same how Modi and Sonia is doing. So I'm doing RAHUL, so I can replace it. Okay, this is one way, but I don't want to change over here. Okay, every time whenever a new user is joining, I don't want to change my create user Ansible playbook, because while editing it may create unnecessary problems, because my L1 guy may change this file, or may change the syntax. So if it is changed, it creates a unnecessary problem. So if that is the case, then we can pass variables from the external files. Nothing but we can create a file called vi users.yml. You can give any name. It's not a mandatory, and it doesn't mean that you must give YML. But you can specify like your username over here by specifying external file vi user.yml I'm giving, and you may give username.yml or just username. It's up to you. And here we can specify the variable name. So variable name is user underscore name. So username we are giving. What is the username? Here we need to specify the equal to. So RAHUL. We are giving username equal to Rahul. Now let's save this file and just check the username. So username is equal to Rahul, and I just need to edit my file name that for variables, please go and look for the user.yml file. That is what you need to specify. So VA, so now we are not using vars. I'm just commenting it out because we don't want to pass variables from here. So I want to specify the variables file from external, sorry, variable file is available outside of this playbook. For that, you need to use again one more parameter called vars underscore files. Okay, vars underscore files is this is the what I can say keyword. You need not to, you should not change it. You should specify like this only. Then the file name is, I need to specify user.yml, right? If it is in some other location, you need to give the full path like /home ans admin /playbooks /user.yml. Okay, this is how you need to specify your variable. Now whenever it requires a variable, it go and check in the variables files which you specified over here. Okay, let's save this file. Okay, so I'm just checking whether path I have given correct or not. Our user file should display. Okay, it's good. And let's execute our Ansible playbook. This time it should create user called Rahul. Rahul we haven't created yet. So Ansible playbook -i check, sorry, hosts create user.yml, then check it. It is taking this value, but it is okay. I think I should give colon rather than equal. Okay, user.name. So let's try it. You can see here I'm giving my username from external source and it has taken over here. Here also it is displaying, sorry. Yeah, creating user Rahul. Creating user Rahul, and it is going to create so it is going to create a user called Rahul. Now let's go and check in our systems. If I go and check the directory over here, sorry. Okay, we haven't executed it actually, right? So let's go without check. Okay, it is creating user. And if I go and check it on my system, ls, you can see here a directory called Rahul temp directory has been created, and if I check the password file, you can see a user called Rahul. Okay, same case over here, ls minus l, you can see a directory called Rahul got created, even here as well. All right, so this is how we can pass variables from the external source. Okay, I will explain it again. We have seen using variables by passing it from the file itself directly. So here we could see that we are passing it from here. Another way is from the external file. So by using var files. Apart from this, we can pass our variables from our command itself while executing our command. Okay, let me clear the screen. And we have executed this Ansible playbook, right? So from this Ansible playbook, we can, sorry, from this command, we can pass our variables. While if you want to pass your variables while executing Ansible playbook itself, we can use a option called minus minus extra vars. Okay, extra vars is a uh, variable, sorry, value which you need to specify while if you want to pass your variables through the Ansible command line. Now our variable name is user underscore name, right? So if I give user underscore name is equal to Priyanka, now we are creating a user called Priyanka. So if I pass this one, okay, even though our variable file have a user called Rahul, whenever you pass any variable from your command line, this will have the highest priority. Okay, not only variables, anything, if you are passing from this particular playbook while executing your Ansible playbook, if you pass it as a runtime variables have the highest priority. So it overrides with the all the values which you mentioned in your Ansible playbooks. Now we'll check with the minus minus check option. You can see here, even though the file contains the Rahul value, it replaced with the creating user with the Priyanka, and it is creating on the four systems user called Priyanka and also creating directory on the four systems. So now we'll execute it by without check option. All right, so this is how we can create users by using Ansible playbook by using variables. Now you can see here Priyanka directory is there, and if I check the password file, Priyanka user is there. Same thing over here. You have a directory called Priyanka over here, and if I check for password file, you can still see the password, sorry, user called Priyanka. Same over here, right? So this is how we can use variables. Now we have seen three types. We are going to see two more types, that is providing variables from the hosts file and also from group vars, that we are going to discuss in later
Oh,
classes.
Shankar, can we pass multiple variables using command line?
Yes, we can do that one. We just need to give comma and one more variable name. Okay, like
Then why this method is not most common method used to
which
pass
one?
variable? This one, like just using command line. This seems more easy and
Yeah, it is easy, but assume that while you are executing your Ansible playbook, you don't know which variable you need to pass, right? If you have a proper README file, then it's good. Otherwise, I don't know. I just usually I'm tempted to executing like this, but this is expecting some variables. Uh, we are using one variable, that's fine. But while executing actual playbooks, we are passing 10 to 20 variables, maybe. It may grow, keep on growing, depends upon your Ansible playbook. So passing
yeah.
all those variables through the command line is not a good idea, and you do mistakes. That's the reason usually we use the external file kind of thing. Here we are going to pass all the variables so that it would be easy. We will ask them that, okay, if you don't change the variables, it is going to take these default values. That's how it would be. So that's all about variables for now. Again, we are going to use while we are using roles, and we yet to discuss about our hosts or inventory file. During that time also, again we are going to use wheres. Now we'll do one more Ansible playbook. That is, if you do remember, we have set up a Tomcat server, right? And Tomcat server setup instructions are already there in our GitHub repository. So DevOps demos, if you go here and Tomcat, yeah. So Tomcat installation, this is the procedure we followed while installing our Tomcat. If you do remember, we have created an EC2 instance with Java, and then we have downloaded this. Okay, then we have changed the permission. This all stuff we haven't done, but this is to startup.sh, right? So starting this one and create a linked file. To create a link file, if you create, what we can do, we can start up or stop the service. Once this is done, we can access our Tomcat from the browser. This is the checkpoint. Okay, so these I would like to convert into the Ansible playbook. Simple thing, I'm just explaining one more time. We need to download the Apache Tomcat packages. Okay, then give the execution permission on the startup.sh and shutdown.sh file, then create a linked file, and then start the services. This is what we are doing. Okay, now we would like to convert this one into a Ansible playbook. Let's write that one. So vi tomcat setup.yml I am giving. Okay, setup.yml. Instead of writing here, I'm going to write it over here. File new. Okay, so it is going to starts with 3 minuses. Next, minus name, playbook, playbook 2, install Apache Tomcat. Okay, next, hosts, I'm just giving web servers. Why I am giving web servers? Here we can give the uh, server details. Okay, whether if you specify all, it is going to install on all systems. If you specify web servers group, it is going to do on only web servers group. If I specify it on the what I can say, only server name, it is going to do or execute only on that server name. So now we are going to use the group name over here because I don't want to install on all the systems. Usually Apache is a web application, right? So I want to install only on web servers. Next, become true, and I'm not going to maybe gather facts. Even though you don't specify, it is yes, but it is best practice to specify. So gather facts. Then we are going to tasks. All right, so we are giving a first task as a name. First, what we are doing, sorry, let's run with this one. First thing is we are downloading the package. Okay, where we are downloading under OPT, right? So to download a package, we have a module called, let me close all this. Okay, just check for Ansible module to download packages. There is a module called get URL. So get URL is a option to download packages. It's like a wget. It's like a wget. We can use the uh, get URL, and if you scroll down, you can see here get URL. It is going to download the foo.conf. Okay, this is the URL you should provide, and the destination, where do you want to copy, and mode, nothing but what is the permission you would like to give. So this is how you can do. So even I want to download the packages from our GitHub repository, sorry, from our Tomcat server. So I will go and take the URL, download Tomcat, and it takes us to the tomcat.apache.org. So Tomcat 8 is a stable version. That's the reason we are using it. And you can see here core 8.5.56. So we are using tar.gz. Okay. Or even zip also we can use. So right click, copy link address. Now let's go to again our playbook. Name, downloading Tomcat packages. Then get URL, right? Get URL is the module and URL, I think. URL, sorry, I need to copy it again. So copy link address and paste it. So we are copying the URL. Now get URL, yeah, URL next dest. So nothing but destination. Where do you want to copy? I want to copy it onto /opt. Then mode, I want to give the permission as a 0755. That's it. So we have given the, what I can say, we have downloaded packages. Once it is downloaded, we need to extract it, right? Because it is a tar.gz. Tar.gz, we need to extract it. Okay, to extract, we have one more module in Ansible. Okay, so extract packages. We have a module called archive. I will just show you again. Ansible module 2, untar packages. Okay, you can see here unarchive is the module which we can use to untar the packages. And you can see here unarchive, source, nothing but where is your file is there, destination, where do you want to what I can say, ex where do you want to extract it. And one more thing is remote src. So remote src is the option. If you don't specify remote src, what will happen, this unarchive file looks for the file in the Ansible server itself. But we are downloading packages onto the client systems. This particular get URL is going to download the packages under the managed servers. Okay, not sorry, not, yeah, managed servers, not under the control server. So we need to specify the uh, remote source to yes, so that it will check for this particular package on the remote system. Otherwise, it checks in the Ansible master node itself. So let's take this module unarchive. Unarchive is the module. Next, src. Src is, it is downloading under opt, right? So /opt slash, after downloading the file name only this one, right? We have only this file name. So I'm going to change it to this file name. Next thing, destination, where do you want to keep it after extracting? I just want to keep it under /opt itself. I don't want to change the directory. And the next thing, remote src, we need to specify it as a S because it is under remote src. This is to extract file. Once it is extracted, we need to give the permissions, right? So where is my, yep. So downloaded and extracted. Next thing is we are giving permissions. So let's change the permission. To change the permission, so now once it is extracted, you cannot see the tar.gz, right? So name I'm giving. So file module we need to use path. What is the path of this file? /opt. Till here it will come. Once it is extracted, tar.gz will disappear on this file. Mode 0755 I can give owner all this stuff. So already now I'm going to give, yeah, 755 on this file. Earlier we have given on the tar file this 075. Now we are giving on the Apache Tomcat directory itself. Okay. Then next name, Next thing is, once we have given the permission, we need to create a link file. So link file is slash opt so and so, and here 3.5 is there, but in our case, our our version is 5.6. So same thing we are going to copy. So we are going to do the link file. So this is the location. Instead of this one, 5.6, right? 5.6, sorry, not here. Name, creating link file. To create a link file, again, we are going to use the file module itself, and path, src, and destination. This one should be, so USR local bin nothing but this is the default directory which can recognize all your commands. So if you create a link file, what will happen? This file logically create one more file that is like a shortcut, one more file in this location, and whenever you execute this particular command tomcat up, it will check in this particular location. That is the default behavior. How do I know it will check? If you specify where is ls, if you specify, you can see here it is going to check the usr bin, and you can see here it is saying that whenever you give which command, it will look for that particular command where does it exist. You can see here it is looking for slash usr bin, and slash usr local bin, usr bin, usr local s bin. All these paths it looks, and if this particular file or command exists in these locations, it is going to execute that particular command. That's why whenever I do which ls, it is going to check in this particular location, and it found, and it giving that this is a ls command is exist, or where is ls also same thing it will give. So it found over here as well as another locations as well. Okay, so this is how we are going to create one more file called tomcat app. And tomcat, this particular shell script, what I mean to say, this particular shell script is a script. So whenever we give tomcat up, it is going to execute this particular shell script. That is what we are going to do. So I'm going to create a link file. So destination. Next, we need to queue the for stop also. Shutdown.sh file. This one I will name it as a create link file for Tomcat startup.sh. Startup and shutdown are the commands which can help us to start the services and stop the services. Now, again, file module, and it will be in the same location. So I'm giving source is equal, this is shutdown.sh, Tomcat down I am giving. I can give this value anything. It doesn't mean that we should specify same thing. It is easy to remember, right? Tomcat down means it is going to bring down the Tomcat service. All right. Next thing is, once we have created symbolic links, now we can start the services. Okay. To start the service. Okay. If you see our playbook, how we can start the service, just we can give the tomcat up so that it is going to start the service. Whenever I give the tomcat up, it will go and check whether this particular command is there in the different locations. Among these locations, we have already specified under usr local bin, so it identifies and execute it. It indirectly means that it is executing this particular stuff, right? So now we are going to start the services. To start the services, we can use the command called shell. Okay, shell is a command, just we can execute it as a command, or else even if you do remember command module also we were using, right? Even we can use command. Okay, so we can specify the command as well, and startup dot, yeah, just to startup. Okay, if you execute a command as a startup, it is execute as a shell script. But what will happen In Ansible, once the command is executed, Ansible come out from that system. Usually, whenever you come out from that system, whatever process you have executed will die. If you don't want to kill your process, even though you log out from your system, then we can use the no-hub command. Okay, no-hub is a command which will help us to run your process even though you log out from your system. That is the advantage. So this is how you can write your Ansible playbook. You can see here, I'm explaining one more time. So what and all tasks we are doing? First, we are downloading packages. Once it is downloading, we are extracting that packages. Once it is extracting, we are changing the permissions on that particular directory. And yeah, one more thing we need to give is recursive. Recursive nothing but within this one, we have multiple directories, right? So all those directories, we are going to get the same permissions on all those directories. So that's why recursive is we should give. Let me check that one under file module. I think I have already opened. Yeah, you can see here recurse. It is not recursive. Recurse, yes, I need to give. Okay, that's it. Now we are changing the ownership, sorry, permissions on the file. Once it is changed, then we are executing, sorry, we are creating a symbolic link files and two tasks we have created. I'm going to again, what I can say, change it few more stuff over here, but for now, we just converted our Tomcat and shell commands into the Ansible playbook. Now let's copy this one. Okay, and I'm adding it to my Ansible playbook. What file I have created? Setup Tomcat, right? Tomcat underscore setup dot YML file I'm creating and just add this one. Okay, so we have added it. Why it is no hub? I think everything looks good. Okay, now let's save this file. Okay, maybe it may or may not work. Let's try it first. So cat, I'm just showing this one. So we are running on web servers. First, let's open our hosts file. Web servers means we are getting these two, 215 and 13, and Tomcat server as well as the RHL server. This is RHL server, and Tomcat server we have already installed the same thing. If you go and check under OPT, we have the tar.gz file. We have extracted it some time back, and then we started the services and accessed it from the browser. And if I go to my Tomcat server from the browser, I can still access it. You can see here, it runs on port number 8080, right? So 8080, but services are not up. Let me quickly bring the services up. So to start up Apache, under this one, you should go bin. Okay, I'm going it as a normal user. Let me become a root. OPT Apache. Under Apache, bin is there. Under bin, we have startup.sh is there, right? You can see here. You can just give /startup.sh rather than coming here and executing. What I have done is I just created a symbolic link. Even you can create a symbolic link over here. So present working directory is this one, right? So ln minus yes. Okay, ln is a command to create a symbolic link file. This means, so this is the one slash startup.sh2, which path we are specifying, usr local bin, right? So this one we are creating a link file. So if I create, now I just execute Tomcat up. You can see here it is starting the Tomcat services, and if I access it from the browser, it should give the Tomcat homepage. All right, so same thing should happen even for my RHL server at this moment, because here it is already running. It is going to create a symbolic link. Now if you check shutdown.sh, Tomcat's down, right? Tomcat down, we haven't created a link file, so it says that command not found. Again, if I create a link file like this, it is going to give the, whenever we give the Tomcat down, it says that it brings down the application. So once we have executed our Ansible playbook, this Tomcat down also should be enabled. Anyway, this is already downloaded and extracted, nothing to do over here. Okay, on the server, nothing will be done, but on the system, it is going to download the Tomcat packages. And just to make sure, I'm removing all these files. We don't need all these files. rm -rf star with sudo command. So nothing is there. Now what it should do, it should download packages on this system, extract it, and create a symbolic link file and start the services. That is the expectation, right? Ansible playbook hosts, okay, Tomcat setup.yml ---- check. I'm just validating it. I don't know whether syntax is correct or not. Okay, there is some typo is there.
There should
Indentation
be
is not given.
Oh yeah, sorry,
indentation
yeah.
pause.
Yep. Okay, all right. It looks good for me now. Let's check it out one more time. Okay, it's executing. Now you can see here it is downloading packages. After downloading, it is trying to extract it, but to extract, we are trying with check, so there is no files. It cannot able to extract, and it is giving that source/opt Apache Tomcat does not exist. Of course, the file is not yet downloaded, right? So let's try this without check now. Clear the screen and try without check. So it is downloading packages on the both the systems. You can see here we have given web server, so it is executing on the two systems. Extracted file is fine. Then creating symbolic link. What it is saying, the source option required the state of the link are hard. So let me check the, what was the name we have given. Yeah, we haven't specified the state, right? So state is colon link. Similar way over here, state link, right? Now let's execute one more time. So files are already there. I think it is not downloading. And if I check ls over here, earlier it was nothing. Now you can see here extracted, it is downloaded as well as extracted. So previous command itself, it was executed, right? So it takes extracted and created the symbolic link and start the services. While starting, it is throwing an error. Okay, it could not able to identify the startup.sh. We have given startup, right? It should be Tomcat up. So let's change it. vi Tomcat setup.sh. So no hub Tomcat up, right? So we are creating symbolic link for, this is the symbolic link, right? All right, so we have created it one more last time. This time it should start the services on my Tomcat server, but before executing, just check that ps-ef grep Tomcat. Okay, no services are running. Okay, again, Tomcat up, no such file or directory. Let me execute manually. Oh, okay. We need to set up the Java, right? We forgot about that, yeah. So first thing is prerequisites itself, we need to install Java. So let me edit my Ansible playbook to install Java. So to install Java, we are going to add one more task, that is name 1.8 star. So I'm going to use a module called yum and name name is equal to, just you can give Java, it is going to install default one. So name Java state installed. Okay, it is not OpenJDK, it is not going to install. Let me check. I'm not going to use install it, but just I will check. Yeah, sudo yum install Java, which version it is going to install on this one. So libraries, yeah, Java 1.8 OpenJDK it is going to install. Okay, that is what I need, because it is a Red Hat system. It is installing 1.8 in Ubuntu. Sorry, I don't want to install manually, but in Amazon Linux it could be something differ, but let it be. So save this file and start the service. Sorry, run our playbook. This time it should install Java as well. In one server it is already there, right? Because that is a already Tomcat server. So it won't do or it won't install it. But in another system it is going to install. I mean to say on Red Hat system. No hub. I think and what we can do is we can go to this path directly and start the service. Okay, so this is the one we need to execute, right? We are going to execute /startup.sh. This is how we need to execute a shell script, and also we need to give the directory chdir, nothing but into which directory you want to execute this one. So you should provide this one. Don't give entire path in the command itself. First chdir nothing but change the directory over here, then run this particular command. That is the meaning. Okay, so let me check the command module once. So command module, as it is, it runs as a command, Linux command. It is going to execute it. And if you scroll down, you can see here. Yeah, sorry, I need to provide args. So command, you need to give the command what do you want to execute and args. Okay, directly you can provide command over here as well. So args. So in args, we should specify the chdir. Let's save this and execute it. I'm just bypassing the link file. I will check it out later why it is not working. Means whatever link file we have created, we are not using those for now. Okay, this time services are started successfully. So we are checking the services on the system. ps-ef grep tomcat. Yeah. So as I said, what will happen? The services has started, but whenever your Ansible playbook come out, it is going to stop the services. That's the reason we should give the no hub over here. Okay, no hub we need to give and save. Let's execute. This time, even though your Ansible come out from your Ansible, sorry, server, still the services would be running. Okay, this time it is successful. And if I go and check for the services, yes, it's running. And if I go and access it from my browser, so copy this one and give it over here :8080. Now you could see the Tomcat application running, accessing from the browser. So this is how we can install Tomcat by using Ansible playbook. So next thing is what we are going to do. It is more like a hard coded. The intention of writing this playbook is I want to show you how the variables works. Okay, so now what is the thing is, today my Apache package type is this one, our version is 8.5.56. Tomorrow it could be something else, right? So in those cases, it is not a good habit to hard code your variables value over here. It is not a good practice of providing hard code the values which you can frequently change. That's the reason what we can do, we can create a variable file and we rename it as a variables. For that, we just going to add a vars underscore files and add the variable file name as tomcat underscore vars.yml. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this one and I will give just as a tomcat URL. Okay, tomcat URL is the option. Next, this one rather than this one, I'm going to use the tomcat package. Okay, tomcat URL and package both are differ because tomcat URL nothing but full URL. Okay, you can give something like this: vars tomcat URL. Sorry, this one underscore I should give. Okay, tomcat URL colon my URL name. Sorry, my URL name I can give. What is the URL name? This is the URL name, right? So my URL name I can give. Next, tomcat package colon. I will give only this package name. Okay. So package name I can give, but I don't give the tar.gz because I just want to reuse this one. Here again, it is, you can see here only till here, right? So I can use this one till here. So this means that it is going to replace the OPT tomcat URL. Not OPT. OPT I need to specify. So OPT, this one. Okay, again here also I can replace with the same thing. Here also I can replace with the same thing. Okay, so this is how we can change it. Here also I can replace with the same thing. So you can see here I am using the variable values, and either I can specify the variable values over here or I can pass it from here. I don't want to pass it from here as well. I am going to create a tomcat dot underscore vars dot yml file and I will pass it from there. So clear the screen. VI, here I'm going to add these variables. All right, so I have saved it. Now I can remove this one, whereas we are not passing it from system itself. This is how we can edit our Ansible playbook. And v8 tomcat, sorry, cat greater than tomcat setup. Nothing but what will happen, whatever content is there in my file, it all going to void and we are going to add the new data. Okay, so oops, yeah, that's it. Now again I can execute this playbook. Just before executing, if I open it, you can see the how we are using vim package name. You can see here we are using variables rather than hard-coded script. Okay, variable names we are using. Okay, sorry, tomcat user. Here we are using variables, and here we are giving URL. Here we are giving the package names, something like this. And one last thing, we are giving URL in the tomcat vars, right? So URL over here. So some special characters are there, just better to mention under quotes so that it won't create a problem, hopefully. Now let's execute this playbook. Even though it is not going to install, this should be successful. That is the intention of this one. So tomcat setup.yml -i hosts. Okay. Even if you want to give all hosts, then minus minus limit and you can give all over here. But I don't want to install on all the systems. Let it be only on those two systems. Typo, not here. Setup.yml. So vars underscore files colon. So let's execute. Now you can see it is going to do the same activities anyway. All right, so It's successful, nothing but it took our variables successfully. And clear the screen. And VI, we can do one more change to our setup.yml. You can see here we are using same module for the link file couple of times. Rather than specifying 2 times, we can use with items, right? So I'm going to change it one more time. So here linked file, I'm going to give these two, right? I can use loop. So loop, what I can do, I can give here again, I will give source nothing but Tomcat script. Tomcat script equaled colon. So this is Tomcat script, right? So I'm going to give it as a Tomcat script. Again, here we are using variables. That's the reason we should specify in a single quote like this. Okay. And then Tomcat command, I can give the command over here. Okay, destination. Here I'm going to give just item dot Tomcat command. Here Tomcat command colon. So startup dot sorry Tomcat up. Similar way, we are going to add one more thing because 2 variables we need, right? That's the reason. So same thing here, shutdown, right? Shutdown here, Tomcat down. So what we are doing, we are changing the Tomcat script to this one over here, or else what I can do, only I can change instead of changing all this stuff, startup.sh and shutdown.sh, and here only I can change just so item dot Tomcat script, right? So now what we have done, we are just replacing the item dot script Tomcat script to startup.sh. Whenever it is startup.sh, link with the Tomcat up. Whenever it is shutdown.sh, link with the Tomcat down. Okay, so this is again here I need to give colon, and this is also going to work. Let's copy this one. I'm just using loops over here. So clear the screen, cat greater than Tomcat setup, and use your loops. And let's try to execute this playbook. Minus minus check. So check should be, we should specify the comma over there. So here we need to specify the comma. Now let's execute it again. With items, why it is using with items? Item.tomcat, yes. Okay, maybe I have used the keyword command. Does it creating issue? Because sometimes I'm specifying like a variable value. It should be single. So okay, let me try it without that. Okay, you can see here it is creating a symbolic links for this one, but it is already there. So it is not touching anything, and it's just created and started the services. So this is how you can keep on updating your Ansible playbook.